Now, let me tell y'all something. You don't win in this league on potential. You win with production. And right now, the Indianapolis Colts are staring down a decision that could shape the next 5 years of their franchise. This ain't just a QB battle. It's a battle for the future. Shannon Sharp, Club Shay Shay style. Now hold on. Let me set the stage right quick. Indianapolis, once the kingdom of Peyton Manning, then passed on to Andrew Luck. 2 generational quarterbacks. But now they in a full-blown identity crisis. You got Anthony Richardson, the athletic marvel. Built like a defensive end. Runs like a wideout, throws like a cannon with no recoil. But baby, all that don't matter if you can't stay on the field. And that's been the story of R5's young career so far. Injuries, inconsistency, and a whole lot of what if. And then you got Daniel Jones. Yeah, I know. Danny Dimes ain't the sexiest name in the game. He done had more ups and downs than a Six Flags roller coaster. But what he does have is experience. And now, with this surprise minicamp shoulder injury to Richardson, he's taking all the first-team reps like he's been the guy. And Peyton, the Sheriff Manning, just pulled up to the scene, dropped some wisdom on the Pat McAfee show, and basically said, competition gon' separate the real from the raw. So buckle up. We about to unpack this whole QB saga like a suitcase before a Vegas weekend. Richardson versus Jones. Injuries, potential leadership, and the ghost of Manning past. And yes, Uncle Shay Shay got plenty to say. Let's not get it twisted. Anthony Richardson is a freak of nature. 6'4", 244 pounds, 4.43 in the 40-yard dash. He got a bazooka for an arm, and enough swagger to fill Lucas Oil Stadium twice. When he came out of Florida, people called him raw. Said he needed time, but the Colts saw enough to take him 4th overall. Why? 'Cause in the NFL, you bet on upside? And Richardson, he got skyscraper potential, but here's the problem, and it's a big one, He can't stay healthy. Last season, shoulder injury knocked him out. And this season, now acting up again in minicamp. Not even training camp, minicamp. That ain't what you want to see. Now Peyton Manning, who knows a thing or two about taking hits, came out and said straight up, I know Anthony wants to be out there throwing with his receivers today. That tells me the frustration is building. You can't develop chemistry from the sidelines. You can't lead from the locker room. And you sure can't win from a training table. The body might be elite, but if it ain't available, you're just a highlight reel sitting on ice. Let me holler at you about Daniel Jones for a second. This man done been laughed at, memmed, slandered and booed since he got drafted by the Giants. And look, I get it. He ain't got that it factor. He fumbled more than a turkey leg at a tailgate. But guess what? He also made the playoffs. He won a playoff game. And now he's in Indy with a chip on his shoulder big enough to block the sun. He didn't come here to ride the bench. He came here because this system, under Shane Steichen, might actually suit him better. Let me say it again for the folks in the back. Daniel Jones might thrive in this Colts offense. Now he getting all the first-team reps while AR watches from the sideline? Oh, you better believe he's making the most of it. This man fighting for his football life. You don't think he sees this as a second chance? A fresh start? You give a hungry man the keys to a kitchen. He gon' cook something. Might not be gourmet, but it'll feed the team. Now let's talk about what the Sheriff had to say. Peyton Manning is royalty in Indy. His word carries weight like Shaq on a trampoline. So when he pulled up to the Pat McAfee show and started dropping gems, the whole league perked up. Competition can be good. Hopefully whoever comes out as the starter is opening the season with a little swag and a little bit of edge, because he just won a tough quarterback competition. That's a bar. He ain't say, Richardson is the guy. He ain't say, it's Jones' job to lose, he said. Let him fight, because iron sharpens iron. And this team needs a QB with swagger, with edge, not a handout, not a charity case, a dog. And he mentioned something else, Manning Passing Academy. Said he knows all these guys, Richardson, Jones, Riley, Leonard. He's seen them up close. He ain't picking favorites, but he knows talent, and he knows mindset. So if Peyton's talking about test of patience for Richardson and more reps for Jones, that tells me he sees the shift. The door is wide open. Let's pull back. This ain't just about who starts week 1. It's about the direction of the Colts franchise. You spent a top 5 pick on Richardson. You bet the house. You marketed him. You built excitement around him. So to not start him, that's a statement. But you know what's worse? Starting him too early and watching him break. Again, that shoulder ain't no joke. You rush that recovery, you might ruin a career before it even gets going. Meanwhile, Daniel Jones, he ain't the future, but he might be the present. He might be the bridge. And if he balls out, you might even flip him for picks later. That's how smart franchises operate. Look at what the 49ers did with Jimmy G. Look at how the Lions bought time for Jared Goff while developing behind the scenes. It's chess, not checkers. So Shane Steichen and GM Chris Ballard, they ain't just coaching. They calculating. Let me talk to Anthony Richardson directly for a second. Young fella, this league don't wait for nobody. You got all the tools, no doubt. But availability is a skill. Ask Carson Wentz. Ask RD3. Ask Andrew Luck, your predecessor, who walked away because the body just couldn't keep up with the hits. This shoulder injury, it ain't just a setback. It's a test. Mentally, physically, emotionally. You're gonna have to prove you can take care of your body. Prove you can lead even when you ain't on the field. Prove that when your number is called, you're ready to roll. No rust, no excuses. Because the moment Daniel Jones starts stacking completions and wins, that leash gets real short. Now don't forget, this is about more than just skill. It's about leadership. NFL players know who the real leaders are. They know who shows up early, stays late, takes accountability. If Daniel Jones becomes that guy this summer, you gonna have a locker room quietly backing him, even if the front office don't say it out loud. That's how you lose a team before the season even begins. The Colts gotta manage this with precision. Let the competition unfold, but don't let it divide the squad. That's on Steichen. That's on Ballard. That's even on Peyton, who's still got them ears in the building. All right, time for Uncle Shay Shay to make his call. Who should start week 1? If Anthony Richardson is healthy by training camp, you start him. You drafted him for a reason. You give him the keys and let him learn through the fire. Unless that shoulder ain't right. If he even 90%, sit him down. But if he ain't ready, don't rush it. Let Danny Dimes hold the fort. Let the offense gel around him. Let Richardson learn. Let Richardson learn. Don't sacrifice long-term greatness for short-term flash. You ain't winning a Super Bowl this year anyway. This is about building. And if Peyton Manning says competition is the answer, best believe it. So here we are. One young phenom trying to live up to impossible expectations. One veteran trying to rewrite his narrative. And one franchise haunted by the ghosts of quarterbacks past, trying to find its next sheriff. Anthony Richardson versus Daniel Jones. Talent versus toughness. Flash versus fundamentals. And as Peyton Manning said, only one gon' walk out of this battle with a little swag, a little edge, and the keys to the city. We gon' find out real soon if R5 is the future, or if the Colts just invited a new chapter they didn't see coming.